Let's talk about the Pies and Adelaide.
Yeah, it was all Collingwood in the first quarter, TJ. It was all Adelaide in the second quarter, and then it became a massive, massive arm wrestle this second half. Like, no one would relent. Both teams had a seventh defender behind the ball, so they both couldn't score. There was no score for about 15 minutes in that third quarter. And then this is the last quarter moments where they scored 2 goals apiece. But Adelaide just kept finding a way. That Phil Thorpe takes a big mark, kicks a goal. They gave Dacos time and space. He kicks that one, Brownie.
Big goal, wasn't it? And a risk to give the ball off. But they got the job done, 59-56, and we've seen a lot of games this year of low-scoring games that have been awful to watch. But this, at 59-56, was an unbelievable game to watch. It was finals pressure. It's one of the best games of the year if you can have a great game at 59-56.
I'd agree with that. It was so tense, wasn't it? You're edge of your seat stuff. All night at the Adelaide Oval.
What'd you make of it, Rory?
Yeah, one of those goals you just saw, the Pete Link snap. It was the only breakdown for the Pies for the entire game, and it came at a crucial time, and I want to go through it because, Brownie, you noticed this as well. All right, you've got a bit of confusion here with Moore. There's a 3v1, and if we pause it here, your job at a deep 50 stoppage is to go man first, defend first, then worry about the ball. Nick's too far away from Pete Link, who picks that ball up. Kicks a snap. I know why Dacos did it. He's reading this play. It's dropped short. He just wants to... He's thinking Moore might take it and give
Trying to win the ball.
Receive. Trying to win the ball. But you also got Harry Schoenberg here all on his own. That was a huge error from the Pies. Very costly. This was almost just as costly from the Crows. You're leaving Josh Dacos and Scott Pendlebury free with 30 seconds left on the clock. And the way this plays out, who's it going to end up in whose hands? It ends up in Pendlebury's hands. And this is a fingernail away from being a Jamie Elliott mark. And we know how clutch he is. So if the Crows want to play and win, or they're going to play finals, if they want to win some big finals games, they'll have to tidy that sort of stuff up in their last quarters.
It came down to that throw-in goal that ultimately determined the game. Do you cut them some slack, Collingwood, for the ball coming in maybe a bit shallow?
When?
On the boundary throw-in?
Absolutely. And you can see what Nick's thinking, right? Because Cameron, the ball's right in front of him. He doesn't expect him to toe poke it back the other way. Expect him to pick the ground ball up and maybe feed it to him. And then it'll be an easy exit. So there's a couple of breakdowns there. But fundamentally, I'd always go body first, defend first, then worry about the ball after.
Absolutely. That's not good enough. You know, I think I'm not cutting anyone slack in that regard. Like, you have
It did drop short.
No, but what's Nick doing there? Like, you must grab a player. Like, Pete Ling's saying, all my Christmas are coming at once. There's no one on me in a defensive. So whether it fell short or it didn't, you must be locked on D50. There should be no spare players.
There was a bit of confusion too. They had a 3v1 behind the stoppage too with Harry Schoenberg all on his own.
Is there an ability for the field umpire to say, do that throw in again?
I've seen it happen before.
Yeah. Should have it been thrown in again?
Look, it probably wasn't in that zone, but I'm a little bit sympathetic to what happened
in
that moment.
Though.
Well, it would have sucked the drama in the end.
Tell you what, Collingwood will love Mark Keane back in their side last night. He was brilliant. Have a look at this smother late. And this is just the epitome of Adelaide at the moment. That is an unbelievable smother that saved the goal. He had 23 disposals, 14 intercepts. He had the most metres gained of any Crow last night, 659. That's extraordinary for a full-back. And then he goes and does that sort of thing and throw in the other key defenders back there. That's why they are premiership favourites at the moment. Not the forward half, not their middle, not Jordan Dawson. It is that back three.
We're highlighting key moments in the last quarter. When a game's decided by a kick, you do that. And Rolly Philthorpe got away with one when the umpire chose to not free kick against him. For this moment, you can see there's a minute left on the clock and he kicks the ball away. Now, I feel he was trying to bring it up to himself and to throw it back to the boundary umpire, but inadvertently he has made contact with that ball in a manner in which it just had to be...
He got lucky,
He got very lucky. I mean, intent doesn't matter here. Right now, the moment he's kicked that is a free kick to Collingwood every day of the week.
Absolutely, that's a free kick. Got away with one completely.
TJ, it was 71 entries to Collingwood, 37 to the Adelaide Crows. But what Collingwood don't have is a big power forward. And when it's finals like last night, you need someone down the line to take a big grab. I love Collingwood's first quarter because they just went aggressive. They didn't let the ball stop moving. And when the ball doesn't stop moving, it allows for this where the Adelaide Crows defence, Worrell, Mark Keane, Murray, they couldn't get set. So this is Collingwood chaos. I love when Collingwood are chaotic like this, where they just keep surging the ball, and what it does, it allows for Murray to get caught out on Elliott. So the first goal was chaotic and the ball didn't stop moving. Then this, what's this from De Goey? This is when Collingwood are at their best, when it's unpredictable, because you've got players like Membry who rely on that. When the game became tight, then trouble set in. So Collingwood couldn't score because they stopped that. Collingwood went a bit safer. They didn't have the chaos. They didn't have the surge, the manic sort of game. And then it became this. well, then that's when Adelaide got set and Collingwood didn't look like scoring. So that's an issue for them, in my opinion. McStay not marking the footy down the line. Membry, not a big player to do it, and Myercheck's not doing it either. So that's an issue come finals time for Collingwood.
So both teams played with a +1 for the majority of the night. Would you have changed anything if you were Craig McRae?
Yes, absolutely I would have. When you're having 71 entries, you're going pretty well as a midfield group, but they couldn't score. So I felt he should have equalised and not allowed for Mark Keane or Worrell to be free. I would have kept trying to equalise to try and help them score, which they couldn't last night.
So Lordo's saying, Damo, Collingwood's missing that X factor.
Yep.
Obviously, the X factor is Bobby Hill.
Yeah, it is.
Where are we at with that?
Well, let's listen to Craig McRae first, and then we'll, as a panel, debate where that's at. Post-match, Craig McRae refers here to Jeremy Howe and Bobby Hill.
Yeah, we're pretty healthy at the moment. No injuries at VFL, no injuries here at this stage. Howie should be available through protocols. Bobby's getting better every day. Not sure he'll be available next week, but it's pleasing to have him back this week, training hard for us. And yeah, we might strengthen up a little bit, especially with someone like Howie available.
You learn not to read too much into what coaches sometimes don't say, but I don't think that leans me to think that he's going to be playing in round 24, Bobby Hill. Now, just to do the numbers on it, they won 14 of their first 16 matches. Bobby Hill played right up to round 15 effectively. Has only been seen once, round 21, since then, as he's dealing with personal issues, and then now as he's returned to the football club, the lack of hardened match fitness, Lordo. So to bring him back for round 21 and then to take him out again, he was ill on top of the personal issues. That was what the club said. But to be overlooked for last night's game, and I think just hearing Craig McRae last night, I think he needs to do more training before they consider playing him again. Yeah,
you need to trust your players that they're not going to let you down. So he's played, once, as you said, in 4 or 5 weeks. He's a Norm Smith medalist, but I don't think there's enough trust there in what he's doing. He hasn't done the work, and there's also selection integrity. You've got guys, young blokes banging the door down, and yet Bobby is coming and going 1 minute, so he hasn't been there and hasn't had the trust to be selected.
So is he the sort of, and we saw it in round 21 where he came straight back in essentially, although he did play VFL the week before, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, out of Frankston from memory.
Yeah, so he played that game and then he had a minor impact, one goal only in a loss to the
Okay, so I'm not too sure where they're at VFL-wise, Collingwood, but if there is no opportunity to sort of come back via the VFL, what does that mean, even if he's fit and firing?
Well, they just have to get the body of work into him, don't they, away from match practice. The VFL will wind up, I believe, as a result of this weekend, so that access won't be there.
So you're saying he hasn't been training all that much? So
well,
it's like main sessions, so where is it at? I mean, if you miss 1 or 2 sessions, not a huge thing, but I mean, you've got a body of work over a pre-season and the first 15 games, so you've got residual fitness. If it's been 3 weeks he hasn't trained for, that's a different thing. So where do we know where that's at?
They subbed him out too, didn't they? So in the game he did play, he got subbed out for De Goey.
And they forced him to play that VFL game prior to the return game, which he didn't even finish completely, and then was taken out in the 2 matches after it, missed a session in the week just gone. I mean,
They'll be doing everything they possibly can to get him back in the side.
Yeah, I think they need him.
He is the X factor. Obviously, Jamie Elliott's been brilliant all year, but they just need that different type of player to him and Schultz to be able to impact the scoreboard and impact rundowns like he's done multiple times.
All right, but at the end of the day, it was the Adelaide Crows who took the 4 points, and a little later on in the program we'll catch up with one of their finest, that's for sure, to work out just where they go from here, because it's looking pretty good for them, Rory, that's for sure. Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show, and well, we're all watching, assuming, of course, you've got Fox Footy and KO, we're all watching Adelaide and Collingwood last night, and this really was, as I said in the introduction, finals came early.
Absolutely. Couldn't take my eyes off it because of the intensity the game was. Fogarty 2, Walker 2, Thilthorpe. So 5 goals between the big boys. Worrell and Keane, what seasons they're having. And Jordan Dawson, he should be All-Australian captain with what he is doing this year as well. And Nick Dacos, again, the best player for Collingwood. But they were pretty good, Collingwood, last night. And one of the recruits of the season, so important for the Adelaide Crows, is Isaac Cumming. And he joins us this morning on the Sunday Footy Show. Isaac, you played in it. How intense was that one compared to everyone else you played this year?
Yeah, no, that one was up there. It was obviously a pretty gutsy win in the end, but we made hard work of it. I think she gave him a 30-point head start at quarter time, I think. So we made it tough for ourselves, but it was good to get it done.
Was it raised after the game by Matty Nix about, Hawthorn, you didn't start well, and Collingwood, you didn't start well? It's something that's got to be a big focus from this point on?
Yeah, no, we obviously did sort of speak about it. We don't want to keep giving teams head starts like that, but in saying that, it's good to know that even when we do start a bit a bit poor, we can claw it back.
And Nixie spoke after the game about Alex Neil-Bullen, mentioning that we haven't achieved anything yet. Maybe be happy with a win, but we haven't achieved anything.
Yeah, exactly. He's a wise man, Nibbler. He said that a few weeks ago, you know, when we were sort of on a pretty good run. But, you know, when push comes to shove, like you just mentioned, we haven't achieved anything yet. And, you know, we've got a spot in September, and that's when the important stuff starts.
You're involved in a pretty important goal. Paddled it out, did a nice job. Now, I need you to be honest. Was it a throw coming from your man, Benny Keys?
Oh my days, it was a throw. I actually, when he threw it to me mid-air, I was like, oh my God, that's going to get called back. But he disguised it well, Keezer.
Who are some of the players that you've, since joining the Adelaide Crows, you've gone, I knew he was good, but I didn't realise he was this good since becoming a teammate?
I think you boys mentioned it before. Josh Royal and Keeney. You know, I watched a little bit of footy last year of the Crows, obviously, but what they've done this year is just, you know, insane. It's an absolute credit to them both. And, you know, Neil-Bullen as well, obviously came here at the same time as me, but him as a player, obviously super impressive, but as a person, one of the most impressive men I've ever met.
Isaac, you had 7 years as a Giant. Obviously, Leon Cameron, your coach, Adam Kingsley as well. First year under Matty Nix. It's his first time into the finals, 5 previous seasons, well short of reaching that status. How have you found that, and how was he post-match when it dawned on him that you could most likely finish 1 or 2 at worst?
Yeah, no, he was obviously, you know, he was obviously pleased that, you know, we're a lock to play now. But, you know, he made a good point of we're far from playing our best footy. You know, we obviously got smashed with inside 50s against the Pies last night, and you know we're a bit poor 2 weeks ago as well. So, you know, it's a good thing that we're winning these games, but we've got to find some form before the real stuff starts.
And have you sensed the enormity of what's happening there in Adelaide at the moment with 54,000 there, obviously coming from GWS and playing here? Have you felt the enormity of the state getting behind the club?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, it's hard not to see it, but it's just unreal. It's unreal to be a part of, you know, a city that loves their footy that much. And, you know, obviously all of the noise around it is super positive at the moment. But, no, it's just an absolute buzz here. I'm super grateful to be a part of it.
Hey, just before we get back into the match, nice little Broken Hill connection being formed there at the Crows, isn't it? Are you from Broken Hill originally?
Paradise Hill, yeah. From Broken Hill.
Yeah, and Tex is from there as well?
Tex is from there.
Yeah, well, there you go. Nice Broken Hill.
Dean Solomon's
Dean
also
Solomon, yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
So you touched on some areas. So what do you reckon you need to tidy up on, you think? Yeah, it's great to hear that you're still on top of the ladder, but you're not content. West Coast wasn't the best performance last week either. What do you think are the keys for you guys to take to North Melbourne this week heading into the finals?
I mean, obviously, I mentioned it before, but our starts need to get a bit better. And, you know, that's off the back of contests. You know, I think both first quarters the last 2 weeks, we've been down in contests at quarter time. That's some of that sort of some tackling and some things around that. But, you know, I think if we can fix that up and, you know, if we start well, it's got a huge sort of effect on how the rest of the game can go.
Isaac, well done on the win last night. Well done on the season so far. And it ain't over yet, that's for sure. So really appreciate you coming on the program, mate.
No, thank you very much for having me, gents. It's been a pleasure.
Don't go yet, mate, because we're still going to tell you about the prizes you'll be getting once Rory packs his duffel bag. But these are the votes from last night.
Yeah, it was a very even game. I thought Worrell just held up so well. He's so desperate.
All Australian lotto?
I would love to see it, but I hate that you have to earn your stripes a lot, you know, so I don't think they should make him have another great season because I think he's good enough to be in there the way he plays. Dawson, Mark Keane, he makes some mistakes, Keane, but he also was brilliant.
Most metres gained last night.
Yeah, and Nick Dacos.
Normally we say goodbye after the votes and the prizes, but we'll do it a different way today. A family pass to Gunbuyer World where water slides, thrill rides and wildlife collide. Just be careful of the quokkas, they bite. A HitFit membership, combine body weight and boxing for a full body workout. And you'll be best dressed on the golf course thanks to Clutch & Co. And we'll kit you out in Catstar, Brad Close's clothing brand. Be close, your swing, your style. We all got Brad Close's stuff last week. A box of Chrome Tour golf balls and a cap thanks to Callaway. Bar Fridges Australia are back. It is your one-stop shop, Bar Fridges Australia. A pair of Aquila's premium quality footwear since 1958. A pair of Rick's eyewear. Rixie eyewear that inspires confidence. And TJ, who doesn't love a free meal? TJ does. So we'll give you one at Platform 28, the best pub in the Docklands, and you can elevate your wardrobe with the latest streetwear style from St. Goliath and 2 pairs of hybrid undies in a mid and a long leg. The Better collection. They've sewn elastic into the groin. It is a game changer. And treat yourself to a batch of Daniel's Donuts. Book a delivery online today. Oh, Donut Man Tony. And then a cap from Travis Matthew. That is the best prize pack in the business. All going Isaac's way.
Absolutely it is. Isaac, plenty there for you, mate, to re-gift at Christmas.
Happy days, and I'm pretty sure I've seen 4 donuts in there, TJ, so they'd want to be 4 in the box when they get there.
That's good, isn't it?
Good work from you. Well done. All right, then. Nice to talk to you, and as I said, all the best for the remainder of the season.
Very much, gents. Have a good one.
All right, you too. There you go.
Good value.
Good. Very good. Yeah, good. Yeah. Another, and as you said, Dean Solomon also from Broken Hill. Yeah. In fact, they've got a nice little sort of conglomerate there of players who've come from that part of the world, or Paradise Hill, as Isaac called it.